Troy's faculty and staff host a fundraiser.
And it's time to look for the next group of impact leaders. Stay tuned. TrojanVision News starts now.
Center of Troy University's broadcast and digital network at Troy, Alabama's international university. This is Troy TrojanVision News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision News for January 28th, 2016. I'm Ryan Renfro.
And I'm Jordan Elston. Thank you for joining us this evening. Troy University's faculty and staff help students every day throughout the natural course of their work, but once a year they get the chance to help out financially through a fundraising campaign. Kyle Shook explains.
On Thursday morning, Troy University's Office of Development kicked off their 2016 Faculty Staff Annual Fund Campaign with a breakfast in Bibb Graves. The annual campaign gives the faculty and staff a chance to give back to the school they work for.
We do this event once a year. It's a faculty staff event, and it's a wonderful opportunity for faculty and staff to give back to the university. We're always asked, what is our internal rate of giving? And it's always a good time for faculty and staff to give back to the university they love.
Dennison says there are a variety of ways the donated funds can be distributed.
The good thing about this campaign is faculty and staff can designate. We have got so many funds set up. All they need to do is call the foundation office at 670-3608, and you can find out how many designations we actually have. And we've also got one, if you don't want to designate, called unrestricted. Like any college has a fund set up, departments. It could go to the school of your choice for scholarships. There's really a lot to choose from.
One Troy professor says that giving back is a good way to show his support for the goals of the university.
I feel fortunate to have the opportunity to teach here at Troy University, and I believe that I have the opportunity to help a little bit with the mission of the university by giving back some to the campaign.
Kyle Shook, Troy TrojanVision News.
If anyone is still interested in donating but were not able to make this morning's event, you can contact Dennison at 670-5843.
Troy University students who were looking to become impact leaders had the chance to learn what it takes at the first of 2 impact interest sessions last night. Latasha Sims has the details.
Impact has been around for quite a while here at Troy University. During the meeting, both Impact directors and past leaders shared information and experiences to help future Impact leaders.
For anybody who's interested in Impact, grab the application, go ahead and put that in, fill out your resume. Kind of like what I was telling everybody here in the interest session today. The resume is important because it shows me where you've been and what you've done, but it's not telling me who you are. So don't completely concentrate on that resume. Don't feel bad if you're not completely built out, 3-page long resume there.
Joining Impact is not only a great experience for the leaders, but it is also a great learning experience for future Troy University students.
What made me the most interested in it is that I'll be working with incoming freshmen all summer long, and I just really have a passion for freshmen and incoming and helping them make their stay here at Troy more comfortable, and it's a different big world here. I know it was a really big change for me, and if it weren't for the upperclassmen and the professors that kind of stepped in and guided me along, I probably wouldn't be here today. And so I definitely want to be that for someone else, because I know how important a role it is.
Joining Impact left a great impact on all students who attended and former students who wish they can get just one more chance.
I love the school. I didn't expect to love Troy as much as I did, so I came in my freshman year and adored it and really fell in love with it. And so as I moved on to the next year, I really wanted to see how I could give back to Troy, and Impact kind of fit that, so I could really help other people fall in love with Troy as much as I did.
For those students who missed the Impact interest meeting, you can still fill out an application which is due by February 9th at 5 o'clock that afternoon to Impact Director Jacob Grant, located in Bibb Graves. Latasha Sims, Troy TrojanVision News.
The next Impact interest meeting will be next Tuesday at 3 o'clock in the Trojan Center Theater.
At 20, it's hard to imagine being 30 and in the real world, but one Troy musical explores this idea. Troy Theater Department's recent production of the musical 29 was selected as one of 6 to perform at the Kennedy Center American College Theater Festival. Haley Greathouse has the details.
Nostalgic, relatable, and extravagant. 3 words actors used to describe the original musical 29 that debuted at Troy University back in October.
It is a story about a group of New Yorkers who are all on the verge of turning 30, which is a big step in life. When it all boils down to it, it's all about holding on and keeping going together.
It took 10 years for the finished musical to make its way on stage.
I wrote this musical with my collaborator Gabi Alter. We wrote it in grad school. Did a small production of it at NYU Steinhardt that was an attempt to develop the show and take it further. And the material before was very disconnected. This latest draft of the show that I've been developing here, there's a definite through line, there's a narrative, there's a story, and you're a little bit more invested, I think, in the characters and in what's going on in their lives.
So you're 29 in New York, and life hasn't turned out exactly the way you planned. Well, where do you go next? For these Troy students, you head to the Kennedy Center.
We have been asked to perform this, and it's a huge honor because we were doing it the very last night, Saturday, right before the award ceremony.
Back in 2013, The Single Girls Guide, another Tommy Newman musical, went to the Kennedy Center. Now, fast forward to today, where 29 is hitting the road with some of the same actors in the front seat.
2 years ago, my sophomore year, we took The Single Girls Guide, which is also a Tommy Newman original. We took that on the road to the same KCACTF, and we got honored with it.
I was also in Single Girls Guide when we took it to KCACTF, and I remember going there, and it was exciting. The whole week was awesome.
Before they hit the road, there's one more chance to see the show in Troy. A free performance will be held January 30th at 7 p.m. Haley Greathouse, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Once again, there will be a performance Saturday, January 30th in the Crosby Theater at 7 p.m. This is free and open to the public. And a playground classic made its way into Sartain Hall last night.
That's right, Jordan. Troy students showed whether or not they could dodge a ball. Deborah Bogart has the details.
Troy University students got to practice the 5 Ds of dodgeball Wednesday night. The teams were dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging some more in Sartain Hall as they participated in UAC and ISCO's joint function Dodgeball Night.
Tonight we are hosting Dodgeball Night. It's an event. We've partnered with ISCO and different organizations basically to not only ISCO is a smaller organization, UAC is a bigger organization, so we kind of help get their name out there. So we introduce them to all the groups that are here, and they get a chance to look and see oh hey, this might be something else that I want to get involved in.
But the teams weren't just being scored on their dodging abilities. They had a little incentive to come play in their best costumes in hopes to win the best dressed team.
There is the best dressed team wins movie tickets to our local theater, to any movie they would like to see.
While the costume contest was a new twist to an old favorite, Calhoun said dodgeball always seems to be successful because it allows different campus organizations to come out and compete against each other.
I think it gives the students of Troy a competitive type of game to participate for little to no cost.
If you've stepped outside recently, you can definitely tell there's a little chill in the air. But Calhoun said thankfully the cold weather did not keep students from coming out and enjoying a little bit of dodgeball.
There's a lot more people than I did think that it was going to affect it because I don't like getting out in the rain or the cold, but there's actually a lot more people than I did suspect.
The best dressed team and overall winner was Kappa Delta Sorority, and Q Dogs and Company won for the males division. Deborah Bogart, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Next week's UAC event is Dollar Movie Night at Continental Cinemas.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. A federal grand jury has indicted a northeastern Alabama police chief on 2 civil rights charges after being accused of assaulting a person who was being arrested and failing to stop another person from using unreasonable force. The Department of Justice says 55-year-old Stevenson Police Chief Daniel Winters was indicted yesterday on 2 counts of deprivation of civil rights under color of law.
A man has been airlifted to UAB Hospital after he fell from rocks outside the safety wall at Pazier Park. The Gaston Assistant Fire Chief says 2 men were at the park yesterday afternoon and had gone over the safety wall when one of them fell.
Police have arrested a former State Department of Corrections employee and charged her with attempting to smuggle synthetic marijuana into the Ventress Correctional Facility in Barbour County. A Department of Corrections spokesman says 61-year-old Sandra Johnson Cooper is charged with felony trafficking marijuana and felony promoting prison contraband.
Still to come on Troy TrojanVision News, the men and women's basketball team faces Appalachian State tonight Khadijah Torbert has more details coming up in sports.
Plus, Donald Trump is refusing to participate in the upcoming debate. More on that after the break.
The GOP frontrunner is ditching tonight's debate. I'm Craig Boswell in Des Moines, Iowa. Trump's camp is telling us why they don't think it's a big deal.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
I see it!
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
I've come up with a family emergency plan.
What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
Me too. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information.
Now, the latest in Trojan sports on Troy TrojanVision News.
The Troy men suffered a second-half comeback loss against in-state rival South Alabama Tuesday night. In the last few losses, there have been 3 to 5 minute stretches where the Trojans cannot make action plays from the field. Head coach Phil Cunningham knows going into tonight's game that he will have to keep his team focused and consistent when zoning from the other team seems to overpower them.
Well, at some point, you got to step up and make some shots. I mean, when a team zones you for 40 minutes, and they mixed in a little man in the first half, but you've got to step up and make shots. You got open shots, you got to step up and make them. And then when you don't, you certainly can't be careless with the ball and turn the ball over like we did there in that stretch where they got to scoring some. So
tonight, the team looks to use the coach's strategy and get a win against Appalachian State. Game is set for 7:30 in Trojan Arena. Also looking to rebound is the women's basketball team. The Lady Trojans started the season off on a roll with 6 consecutive wins. Head coach Chanda Rigby says to get her team back into the swing of things, everyone must remain positive because soon enough, the wins will start happening again.
Well, we're certainly experiencing a bad stint in our season. We've lost 3 in a row. That's not like us. And the fashion we've lost them in is not like us. But you know, we're missing a lot of shots that we normally would make. As a coaching staff, we have to keep instilling confidence. We have to keep the team together, and we have to stay positive. That's what we built this team on, is faith and believing in something that wasn't there to begin with, and that's the way we're going into this next game at App State, that we're great shooters. We can take care of business inside the paint, and that's how we're going to approach the game the day after tomorrow here in Trojan Arena.
The ladies look to snap their 3-game loss streak tonight at Facility and Staff Appreciation Night. Tip-off against Appalachian State is 5:15 p.m. in Trojan Arena. The men's tennis team will face off tomorrow against number 29 Florida State in Tallahassee, Florida, while the women's tennis team will serve off against FAU in Boca Raton, Florida. The men's match is set to begin at 11 a.m. The women are set to begin at 10 a.m. It's almost that time of the year for Peanuts and Cracker Jacks once again. The softball and baseball teams are ready to tee off their season. But first things first is Fan Day. Fan Day for both teams will be Saturday, February 6th from 12 p.m. until 2 p.m. at Riddle Pace Field. And new volunteer assistant coach J.C. Alfett is ready to take on the upcoming softball season.
Well, we have really high expectations for the girls on and off the field. So we know, like that this is our year. We know what we want to do and where we want to go, and we will do anything to accomplish it. And I expect so much out of them, and I'm just really excited for the season because I think they know, who they are as a team and what they want to do on the field.
Both teams will play intra-squad games at their respective facilities following Fan Day festivities. The baseball season will begin February 19th and the softball season on February 12th.